Hello, I'm Liz Crowther, Chief Executive of the Mental Illness Fellowship of Victoria. As you know, in the coming weeks a federal election will be held, and we'd need your help to get a fairer go for Australians living with mental illness, their families and carers. Mental illness affects 3.2 million Australians each year from all walks of life, from all parts of the country, regardless of their personal circumstances. And while people do recover from mental illness, many individuals and their families continue to be let down by a crisis-driven system. The result is that people living with mental illnesses are systematically locked out of opportunities for employment, education and a home, and from playing a part in our community. Opportunities which most of us take for granted. The voices of people with mental illness have got to be heard this election. In developing our call to action, we asked our members, our participants and supporters what they thought the key issues were for them. We were overwhelmed by the number of survey responses that we received, and by the extent of agreement among people about the difficulties that they face. Our call to action responds to these concerns and sets out some clear policies for adoption by our political leaders. Mental health continues to be a neglected issue in Australia, despite acknowledgements from both the Labor Party and the Coalition that we need to do better. The initiatives of the Rudd-Gillard governments were very welcome, but they followed years and years of neglect by governments from both sides of politics. And they've just not amounted to systematic change. Nor has the Coalition made the level of commitment required to make a difference to the lives of people with mental illness and their families. Spending on mental health services accounts for only 7% of the overall health spending, even though mental health conditions make up 13% of Australia's burden of disease and injury. We need sustained commitment and investment over the long term that addresses the key problems in the system. The day-to-day ramifications of an inadequate mental health system can be seen in our hospitals, on our streets, in our prisons, and also among the many carers out there struggling to care for their loved ones with a mental illness. 42% of people with mental illnesses are not appropriately accommodated, placing many people at risk of homelessness and harm. People with mental illnesses are routinely discharged from hospital into tenuous housing, caravan parks, or even onto the street. The lack of suitable housing and support is driving families and carers to breaking point and putting pressure back on hospitals, the justice system and homelessness services. Most people with mental illnesses want to work, and yet 80% of people with persistent mental illnesses are unemployed. There's ample evidence to show that people with mental illnesses can find and keep jobs when they get the proper support. We need employment services in Australia that can actually get people with mental illnesses into the workforce. While the introduction of Disability Care Australia will make a big difference to the lives of people with psychiatric disability, there are doubts as to whether enough people with severe mental illnesses will be able to access the scheme. There are also fears that the existing mental health services will be diverted into Disability Care Australia, leaving those outside the disability care system even more likely to fall through the cracks. It's unacceptable that people who live with mental illnesses should have to live second-class lives because of a failing support system. As one of the people in our survey said, I want to be treated no different from an individual who suffers from diabetes or asthma. There are a number of things the next federal government can do to improve the system, to ensure that Australians with mental illness get the support they need and are entitled to. Our call to action document provides policy solutions that are informed by evidence and the direct experience of people who have endured the system. We also show how best practice support can change people's lives. We need to make sure that the political parties understand that mental health is a vote changer. We need you to ring, write, email, tweet, blog and lobby your local Member of Parliament and election candidates to make sure your voice is heard between now and election day. Our call to action document includes information and contact details that can help you do this. I urge all of our supporters and others who care about improving our mental health system to get active and to let our politicians know that mental health does matter this election. Thank you and all the very best.